By a curtain we find that it's very interesting how Chassidus explains it. When we have a curtain in the window, the light goes through the curtain. The light that goes through the curtain is considered a oir shel tulda, a secondary light, not the pure light as it is going through the curtain. Chassidus explains there's another idea of transferring the difference between a window and a mirror. A window, the light goes through directly without any interference. A mirror, the light is being backfired, which means we're only receiving a reflection of the light, but we don't see the essence of the one that's standing in the mirror. The silver is only reflecting his image. When we stand in the window, we look out, we can see a person clearly. We're seeing the person as he is. Here we're seeing the person the way that the silver coating on the mirror represents him, reflects him.
So it can be altered. It's altered.
It's altered.
Slightly
altered, right.
It's all depending on the shape of the mirror and everything.
Right.
So it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's called the mus, not mahus. Mahus means the essence. The mus means an image, a ray. Chassidus explains this is the difference between the sun and the moon. This is the difference between the higher attributes and the attribute of Malchus, royalty. It's coming through a certain curtain, a certain something that it's actually dimming it or in a way that we see it in a different way. We perceive it in a different way because the impression that it makes on us. And this is basically, I mean, there are many different tzimtzumim. There's a tzimtzum that's called hair of a person. There's a certain life that comes through the hair of our head. The hair is growing. It's connected to life. But it's different than the limbs. We take a haircut, we don't feel any pain. If God forbid somebody would sever a certain limb, we would feel great pain. What is the difference? The limb is more tightly connected with the soul than the hair. The hair is only receiving, has its roots only in an external part which is a little more remote from the soul than the limbs have. And therefore, the hair, a person will not feel any pain. On the other hand, the limbs, because they are more connected to the body, so there's more life streaming, so there's more sensitivity. And therefore also a person feels a greater discomfort. So this is an example. Chassidus explains that sometimes there's certain worlds that the light that passes through them, how it's drawn down to us, is like passing through the hair of a person. The hair is a very limited life, very limited energy, minute energy, as we see, that it's something that's almost no sensitivity. So this is another way how when there's a need to transfer godly energy from one extreme to the other, and there's no other way, so it is a contraction that is compared to hair. That's how it's described in Chassidus. There's also another one. Another one is, today we would call it Scrabble. It's, for example, there's an expression that says that stones are like letters. Letters. When a person puts stones in a certain sequence, in a certain order, there's a certain message. Because stones are compared to acius. If the letters are in a certain sequence, there's a certain message, there's a certain logic, there's a certain light which the person is seeing and picking up on. What if the stones are all over the place? It's a pile of stones, like it was by Lavan, Galit. It was just a pile of stones. There's no message there. But actually there is a message, but the message is completely concealed, very removed beyond understanding. Chassidus says this is the contraction that took place before the world of Atzilus. From the crown of Atzilus, from Kesef, into the world of Atzilus, that is the contraction that took place. Compared to a pile of stones that we can't figure out, the same way that we can't figure out what is the message there, what's the logic, in the same way that light was so indirectly given over in order that the world of Atzilus should be able to exist. Otherwise, it cannot endure such a light, an infinite light that comes from Kesef, from the attribute which is the crown.
I didn't know Atzilus was chaos, was a level of chaos.
No, the world of chaos is actually took place before. It is Atzilus is called Tikkun,
Right.
correcting what took place then.
Right, but the light that came into Atzilus, you're saying is scattered.
Yeah, but that's already after Keser. It's not the Atzil. It's not the Elam. Right. But because Atzilus it has this, the attributes of Atzilus have a special. They feel they're more refined and they're more humble. Therefore, they can coexist one with another. On the other hand, the world of chaos, because each one held themselves as in a very self-esteem, in a very strong way, one couldn't coexist with the other. Therefore, there was a collapse. And again, the collapse, the Rebbe strictly writes, based on the Arizal, it is a spiritual world. And therefore, when we say that this world is the world that was created, this is the first physical world that was created, that we find ourselves in. The worlds of the other worlds were all spiritual. All the levels until this physical world, Atzilus, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiya, they're all spiritual worlds. Keser, Kav, Akudim. I mean, this is a whole long chain of creation.
And what's this world called?
Elam Asiya.
This is this physical.
Elam Asiya. Physical world.
Yeah. I was fascinated by what you said about the stones. I was thinking about when I went on a hike some time ago. There are these markers that they set up made up of stones. I think they're called cairns. I wondered how ancient that was. In a way, it could be a metaphor for Hashem guiding us, just about the original contraction. I don't know if that goes back to how far back that goes. It must be a very ancient marker, so you can find your way.
Right.
It's a specific formation of rock. You know what I'm referring to?
I know what you're referring to.
That might be the right name, but it's, yeah, that just
I
that occurred to
remember
me.
exactly. I didn't know how it goes back.
Yeah.
But it's basically it's according to the two levels, from one world to another. That is what decides what kind of contraction was needed there. If it is a pile of stones, if it is a curtain, where a curtain is used is actually from Atzilus to Bria. The example is of a curtain. The lower the world, the more limitation and contraction is needed. One is a curtain, one is a pile of stones, and each one is a different one. One is only in quantity, removing the light and then resuming the revelation.
So this world is the most physical of all the worlds.
This is the physical world, and then to complement or not to complement the world, the Alter Rebbe says this is the lowest world, can't be anything lower.
So what is Hashem trying to do?
But it's from the highest place.
He wants this world, for whatever reason, he wants this world to become a dwelling place for him. Why does he want it? He had a pleasure. He had a desire. Why did he have a desire? So the Alter Rebbe says, on a desire, you don't ask questions. That's the way he said it. A desire, you don't ask questions.
The stone was from Atzilus spiritual?
The stones are from Kesef to Atzilus.
Kesef.
Do you think, Rabbi, because of his ahava for us as human beings?
It's the desire that he wanted that this world, the lowest of all worlds, should become a dwelling place for him. And eventually, the time of the redemption, this is where the whole revelation will be.
His love.
Right. And he will, and it says there won't even be any need anymore to connect to higher, because he'll be